Well, we made it to Montreal, just barely. We've got engine trouble, so I'm going to the marine supply store to try to get some parts. So in Montreal, we've picked up a crew to help us out through the canal. And so I know it's gonna be a way better move for my views if we got some like super hot clothing optional girlfriend of Morgan's, maybe from a like, yoga instructor school or something. Morgan, you have any friends like that? Okay, Morgan doesn't have any friends like that. So what we did was we picked up my homeboy Eric. What's up, brother?
Hey.
Yeah. So Eric's joining us, killer of Eric, to make the trip out here to help us out.
Sorry, I'm such a diss.
The engine seems to be working great. We sea trialed it yesterday for like 4 hours and we've got no hiccups. So I'm feeling pretty cautiously optimistic that everything's gonna go well. So we're making a run for the lock system. One thing, so I ended up installing a little electric low pressure pump to keep the fuel moving, and it's kind of weird. So look at this voltage gauge. It seems to be wiggling at the same frequency the pump is pumping. So that's annoying, and it's kind of an accurate visual for how my nerves have been the last couple of days working on it. But if that's the only side effect and the engine runs great, I'll take it. And so wish us luck. The instructions are to show up an hour early and tie up the boat to a waiting dock. And so I think I've timed it so we're gonna arrive an hour early as planned. And that's it. I mean, fingers crossed this engine stays reliable, because it's going to be just motoring. We're in a canal, locks, and that's not a sailing situation at all. I'm going to put the boat on this dock right in front of us. There's already a ship that's entering the canal, the lock. Which is kind of interesting to see. They passed us earlier, and you know, we're going to see how this works. We've never been through a big commercial shipping lock before, so it's kind of cool. We get to see how the pros do it before we make our try. All right, ready as we'll ever be. And we're through. Lock number 1 done. We got many, many more to go. Another day, another lock. Good morning. We've got 2 locks planned for the ride off this morning, and then just 25 miles, and we're going to drop the anchor in front of the last lock until we're in Lake Ontario. So it's a bit of a milestone, I guess. This will be the first American lock we've gone through. The rest have been run by the Canadians, and so I expect things to be a little bit different. In this lock, I'm reading up that there's floating bollards to make your lines to. In the Canadian locks, they'll throw the lines down to you, and you'll take it off to your, make it off to your cleats, bow and stern. And then this one, I guess there's bollards that will float up with you. I don't even know what that looks like, so I'll be learning that as well as showing you how that goes. So here's one difference in this US lock right off the bat, is instead of a nice big waiting dock, we just have this little baby catwalk, basically a little dinghy dock. Pleasure crafts, welcome to the US Seaway Locks. Please moor behind this wall. Contact information. Noted. And also French, which I don't speak. Welcome to the US region. And obviously non-working phone to contact them on, so I'll try them on the radio. Yeah, I'm told they monitor channel 12. Give this a shot. Snell dock operator, Snell dock operator, Snell lock operator. This is sailing vessel Traumarai, over.
Station calling Snell. This is Seaway Eisenhower. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. I'm a pleasure craft looking to come upbound on the lock.
Roger, sir. We'll have you stand by. We'll be turning the lock back shortly. We'll get you up soon.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Traumarai monitoring channel 12. Plenty of fenders. You just got to pay attention. Some of these locks you got to come in port side too. Some of them starboard. So good to look ahead. I mean, I do kind of wish it was a little bit easier. We've been talking about how 2023 there's not like some Seaway app that you can put on your phone that has all the information for each lock, but that's not really the case. You got to kind of dig on the internet, and we've got a Seaway guide in paper that's helpful, but the information is not just there. You got to like research it. So that, my friends, is a floating bollard. It's a thing to tie off to. They'll slide up the rail, up. So one word of advice is get your stern line on the bollard. Boom. And then be coming forward to put your bow line on, because it's a pretty poor move to come up. Ask me how I know. A pretty poor move to come up to the forward bow and get your bow line on, and then try to back onto the second one, because my stern kept getting janked out, and we eventually got it, but it wasn't too smooth. Oh well, I mean, we're on now, so we're good.
I think there's a little confusion as to if we were gonna put both lines on number 1.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, no, that's true. That was what was confusing. We'd never seen this lock before in our lives, and the lock operator had said, "Hey, you guys are going to bollard 1." So I passed right by 2, saw 1, not really knowing what I was looking at, and was like, "Well, we just both tie to this?" That's what we tried at first. Well, that doesn't make any sense. You got no control. So, yeah, we kind of made a new game plan on the fly.
I don't understand how you know. It's like this number.
Because he said go to 1.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 6.
Yeah.
Where your bow goes.
It didn't say go to 2.
But I was confused if we're both tying off to 1. No, sorry.
No.
Just like that, we're like 60 feet higher elevation. Pretty remarkable. Hell yeah, team. Lock number 2 of the morning. Now all we have to do is move this boat 22 miles and anchor in front of the next lock so we can do it in the morning. Last lock. Well, good morning. We're at the Iroquois Lock, the last lock before we get into Lake Ontario. And I just want to say that this experience and this journey upriver and these locks, it takes a lot of patience. They want you here an hour early, and we usually try to shoot for that. But then you might have to wait for commercial traffic to get through, or downbound traffic to get through, or maybe they're just really slow about getting you through, and so it sometimes takes an hour or two of waiting until you're called through. No big deal, pretty chill. You just have to take your patience with you on this kind of journey. In case you're ever wondering where your stevia, cornstarch, or other food ingredients may come from, we're passing Ingredion Corporation. So, bon appetit. I'm not really sure how I want to end this video, because just kind of been rinse, repeat, right? We got through all the locks, awesome. And every time we get through a lock, we're going to spend the rest of the day motoring with no wind, flat, against current. I mean, I can show you some scenery, but even that, pretty the same every day. People's big pretty houses, motorboats. Sometimes there's a park or something, and then we'll just do it all again. But I hope you maybe got to see inside of a lock. Maybe that's a cool experience. And if you're transiting these locks, maybe picked up some tips about fendering and line handling. And maybe just saw what it's like, what our experience has been for the last 4 days. So I hope you enjoyed it.